Hello, Taurus. Thank you for being here. I hope you're well. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot. This is what you don't see coming for the week of February 1st, 2026. I set the intention of this reading to be for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. So if you have Taurus in any of those placements, odds are there's a little message in this reading for you. If you're not sure what your placements are, in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Also, in that description box is information on how you can become a time traveler. As always, keep in mind, this is a collective general reading. So as the messages come through today, just take the parts that fit, leave the ones that don't, because if it's not your message, it simply means that it's meant for someone else. With all of that said, let's begin. Tapping into the Taurus collective now for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What does Taurus not see coming for the week of February 1st, 2026? What do they not see coming? One more shuffle here. Thank you. What do you not see coming, Taurus? We have ignoring, and at the bottom of the deck, we have fake accounts. Okay. Why is this something that Taurus does not see coming this week? Ignoring. One more shuffle. Thank you. We have the Ten of Cups. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Page of Swords. And we have the Four of Swords. I want to make sure your cards are not sticking here. Sorry, I cleansed all of them, and sometimes like the smoke and stuff gets on your cards. I love the gold foil deck for you. But anyway, sometimes it'll make the foil cards stick. And then at the bottom of the deck, you have the Six of Wands. You have the Two of Cups. And you have the Hanged Man. That leaves the Fool, the Queen of Wands, and the Eight of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you do have something going on with a particular partnership in your life. And look, this could be professional, platonic, or romantic. But whatever's going on with that person or whatever's going on in respect to your connection with them, it looks like this week you're ignoring it. And I don't know necessarily if you're ignoring the person or you're just ignoring what is happening between you and this individual. It looks like this week you're very focused on your happiness. Tell me about that Ten of Cups here for Taurus. I just saw Five of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So it's possible that, again, in respect to this one connection, there could be something there. There's, you know, some hurt feelings or feelings of loss or feelings of betrayal. But it's like this week you're ignoring those feelings or you're suppressing them or you just don't want to address what is happening between you and this other individual. Instead, it looks like this week you're focusing on your happiness. If you haven't seen the reading before, this is the energy of the person I'm reading for. So this is you and this is the situation, environment, or connection that you're dealing with. One more shuffle here, please, on that Ten of Cups. We have Temperance. We have the Seven of Swords. And we have the Page of Cups. That's what I'm talking about. It's a little bit of a deceitful energy on your part. I won't lie, because there's something clearly transpiring between you and someone else here in your life. Again, friend, family member, lover, coworker. I don't know who this person is. Could be your neighbor for all I know. So there's something a little deceptive. There's a little head in the sand. I don't want to look at it, right? We are clarifying the ignoring card. But the reason why you're doing that is like, this week, I just want to focus on being happy. I just want to focus on being happy. I want to focus on being creative. I don't want to allow what is transpiring between me and this person to disturb my happiness. I don't think it means that you're never going to address what's transpiring between you and this individual, but it's like this week you're like, I don't want to sabotage my peace, or I don't want them or what they're going through to sabotage my peace. Page of Swords. Tell me why the Page of Swords is here. Yeah, I just saw the High Priestess. Again, intuitively, I think you know there's obviously something going on at some point in time you will need to address. But your feeling here is like, but this is not the week to address it. We have the Hierophant. Just as I said, you're thinking this is not the week to address it. This is you. You're making this decision here. The Hierophant, the Six of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. Bottom of the deck, the Hermit. There's something here, and I think you're using your intuition here. And Tauruses tend to be more intuitive than people give them credit for. The feeling I'm getting here from you is this is not the time. I'm not saying I won't address it. I'm speaking like you. But not right now. Right now, I have other things to focus on. And so maybe you're having an issue with a friend and you're like, you know what? I know I need to address it, but for this week, Four of Swords, I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to let cooler heads prevail. I have too many other things going on. I have family issues going on. I have stuff at work. You know, maybe you're taking some courses. Sometimes a Page of Swords will be someone who is learning something new. Again, I just feel like you have a lot going on. You're being pulled in a lot of different directions this week. And for whatever reason, you're choosing. and I shouldn't say for whatever reason. I can see what your reason is. It simply is, if I could speak like you, I don't have time to deal with this. That's what it feels like. I know I have to deal with it eventually, but not today. Hermit to the Five of Wands, because this will erupt into something bigger, and I don't have time for the discussion. I don't have time for the argument. Tell me about this individual. Tell me about this Two of Cups. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Two of Cups is clarified by the Chariot, the Queen of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Ten of Pentacles. Yeah. The connection that you have with this person is strained. There's a weight there. There's a burden there. You're acknowledging it, and guess what? They're acknowledging it too. So I think it appears, at least for this week, the two of you are both deciding to not address what is happening here. You're in the Four of Swords, and they're in the Hanged Man energy. Again, you're both acknowledging it, at least energetically speaking. Something's going on here. Something is difficult. It's affecting the connection you have with this person, the connection they have with you. But the feeling here seems to be neither one of you want to address it. And so I'm getting with the fake accounts card, it's more like we are being fake. And not really the fake accounts, but it's like we're being fake. We're pretending to get along. We're on the surface. Yep, everything looks great. But underneath, you know that there's something here that eventually will need addressing between you and this individual. Anything else Taurus needs to know for the week ahead? So I would expect, in terms of what you can expect in the week ahead, this inner knowing that something is wrong between you and another person. And the inner knowing that you need to address it, but this is not the week to address. Again, I'm not telling you not to address it this week. Energetically, it looks like you have a lot on your plate, and you don't have time for the disruption or the argument or the discord that will erupt when the two of you finally do speak about what's transpiring here in the connection. One more shuffle. Thank you. Anything else you need to know about this? Ace of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Cups, Five of Swords. Eventually, the two of you will sit down like equals, and you will have a very honest conversation about what is transpiring. You will both be able to air your truths out. It just appears that this is not the week that it's happening. However, when it does happen, there will be conflict in the Five of Swords. And that's some pretty hard cutting words there. And I suspect that you know this, and I suspect here that they know this as well. And that is why neither of you have the time to address it this week, but it will be addressed. Let's see if we can get timing for you. Timing when this conversation will take place for Taurus. Not every card in tarot is timing, but let's see what we get. One more shuffle here. Thank you. When will this be addressed? The moon. Well, most likely in the energy of the full moon in Leo that we're having on February 1st. However, that's covering this week. And I'm actually feeling, in terms of timing, this is going to actually occur during the new moon in Aquarius that we're having about 2.5 weeks from now. So is it possible some of you will have this conversation in the energy of the full moon in Leo? It's possible, but I'm seeing this more as this week you're just trying to keep things calm and steady, because you know within the next 2 weeks this conversation is occurring. And again, at the bottom of the deck we have Five of Swords, so I would expect this to be a pretty hard conversation, possibly with some cutting words here. But that is what I have for you. Let's get you some advice for Taurus on how to deal with this person or the issue that they're having with this person this week. Can I get one more card on that moon? I'm really honestly not feeling like it is the full moon in Leo. The High Priestess. No, I don't believe it's the full moon in Leo. I feel like this is more like the new moon in Aquarius that we're having in about 2.5 weeks time. That's when verbal justice here will be served. Let's get you some cards of advice. Until then, it's quiet between you and this person. And I think you're both actively leaving this unsaid or unspoken. The Three of Swords came out, but it sort of came out on its side. The Ten of Swords and the Two of Cups. Yeah, in respect to this partnership, Ace of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. Whatever transpires here during this conversation with this person, it appears that you or they might actually end up feeling very betrayed. Your advice here seems to be to delay the conversation until you are ready for the ending, because whatever transpires here between you and this person, it looks like it will be a significant break in the connection between you and them. Now, I don't know if there's any repair. I'm not looking too deep into that, but yeah, hold off on having the conversation for this week if you can. The conversation will take place over the course of the next 2.5 weeks. There's no doubt about that, but there's something here about have the conversation when you're ready, and it needs to be when you are emotionally prepared for this conversation to end. Because with that Five of Swords card showing twice, whatever truths here are spoken, it's going to disrupt, death card to the Ten of Cups, your happiness. So you're right this week to just want to focus on other things and other priorities, because your happiness will be impacted here after this conversation is had. That is what I have for you, my dear. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace.